Hello and welcome to the Locker Room Podcast, episode 3. I'm your host, Zain, joined by my co-host, Sully, and our two guests for today, Jad and Adham. How is everyone doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, man. So why don't you guys introduce yourselves a bit?
I'm Jad. I'm a senior graduate this year at Sport United and Barcelona. And yeah.
I'm Adham, also graduate this year. I support Man City and I used to support Madrid, but now they're kind of fading, so we're moving on.
And yeah, I think first thing, congratulations to both of you on graduating last week. Big ups.
Thank you.
Wishing you all the best for moving forward to uni. Let's get straight into it. The Premier League's back. What do we think? How's the production value? How's the quality of the games?
Pretty boring.
Yeah, I mean, small games, honestly.
Pretty boring.
Aside from Arsenal, nothing surprising really. I mean, they are Arsenal, but you still expect them to beat teams like Brighton, don't you? Just horrendous, really, because I mean, you see players like David Luiz. David Luiz used to be a really good defender, but now he's a joke.
Yeah,
isn't
at Chelsea, he was really good. Like I remember, I used to
and going into PSG as well a little. But then now he's just...
he actually just signed a new deal with Arsenal, 2 years.
Yeah, one more year.
One more, yeah.
I don't know.
What were they thinking? Just like...
No, they're trying to put faith in him, I think. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're trying to show that like even if you have a bad game, it's fine.
I mean,
Everyone
that's
games.
true, but you
That wasn't
give
a bad
chances,
game though.
but
That
then
was something else.
you give chances, but then at some point you just have to stop.
You have to let go, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But they played Mustafi and Holding the next game, and they actually did well.
Yeah, they did.
They did
better than Luis.
No, they did okay. Although when I saw that defense, I was like, oh, it's over. But they didn't do that bad. You know who's actually really good in Arsenal?
Who?
You know Saka.
Yeah. The problem I mean,
if you watch the games, he's so impressive. Like he's actually
he puts in a lot of work. Yeah.
Look where they played him though. Like left back, right back, left mid, right mid, and they played him in like wing positions. And then against City at one point, he went in like a false 9. So like that kid is
like
really
a striker.
Versatile. Yeah. He's really versatile.
Oh, wow.
I think.
That's the thing. That's the thing with I mean, yes, he's versatile, but he shouldn't be switching positions like that. They should have him in at least like either defense, midfield, or attack. Like
City did that. Like City, for example, they had Zinchenko, right? Zinchenko originally is a cam, like center attacking midfielder, and then Guardiola tried him as a fullback, and he solidified his position there. And now he's like developing in that position. But Saka, I feel like he's a very good player, but position-wise, he's played everywhere.
With a team like Arsenal, they I mean, they're desperate really to find their right starting 11. So
although fullbacks they have like a good amount of fullbacks. They have Kolasinac, they have Bellerin, they got Cedric Suarez on loan. So they don't really need like Saka at left back.
Jad, what do you think? What's wrong with Arsenal?
I think Arsenal are kind of having the same issue as teams like United, where they're bringing in the average players such as like Mustafi, Xhaka, experienced players like David Luiz, but there aren't any players that are willing to go in and die for the team. There are players such as like Mesut Ozil, a world-class player who's sitting on the bench. Yeah, he's old, but at this state of the club, play him. See how he is. You're like, why not? You know, you're at a like, I don't want to say this because Arsenal is a big club, but you're at a position where you can't even like see your position when you're looking at the top 10. Try other things. Like this league is gone for you. Do it like David Luiz. Yeah, it was so smart of them to sign a new contract because first of all, they don't really have defenders, do they? They don't have centrebacks. And let's be honest, next season going to transfer window, I don't think they're gonna be signing the Koulibalys, the Upamecano's, the top class defenders. So they need to hold on to something. So I guess they do need a rebuild. Obviously, I think Mikel Arteta is gonna stay. I think the club's gonna depend on him to do the job.
Yeah,
I think Arteta's definitely staying.
Yeah, no, Arteta's doing well. Like, in my opinion, he's actually doing well. He took the team and he's actually trying new things with like new players like Saka and I don't know how to say his name, Nketiah.
Yeah.
I think
Nketiah, yeah.
that's what clubs are doing now. They're
He's
relying
testing.
on club legends such as like the Frank Lampard, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Arteta. We're gonna see clubs like Liverpool after Klopp. They're gonna start implementing that into like their club because they want
Possibly, yeah.
like United fans are more like look at this when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was doing bad at the club and when Louis van Gaal was doing bad at the club, the fans were still more interested in what Ole was gonna do because he is a club legend. They want him to succeed more than Van Gaal, like Van Gaal succeeding at the club. Van Gaal once he started, they just want him out. Ole they had like faith in him, so they're
Plus,
trying to get
it has
that
something with it to
implemented.
do with the players as well. Because when you see
Yeah,
like you're playing for this club, and then you can see the legacy of the guy who's leading you, you kind of want to
we've
do
seen
better
that
for the
in
club.
like I don't think Marcus Rashford like would have been doing as good if Oli wasn't the manager. He
Yeah,
took him
yeah.
under his wing and he's teaching him how to be that mature at that like young age.
You know, I feel like a big
Yeah,
issue with like certain clubs right now that they're not really focusing on is like the development of players. Because every club, like every single club that actually has money to sign people, they sign average players, right? Like they sign people who have potential, they see potential in them, but currently they're not that great. The difference between clubs is how they develop them. Like for example, you look at people like Gundogan, for example. He was an average player. Like he was okay. Went to City, became a really good player. You know what I mean? Development with like Lacazette, for example. Lacazette was crazy in Lyon. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah.
He went to Arsenal.
Golden
He did
Boot.
well. Yeah. He went to Arsenal. He did well, but he didn't develop into like a world class player that he should be. You know what I mean? Especially that he was young at Lyon. He was signed to Arsenal young. Now he's benched at sometimes. Like sometimes a player like him should not be benched.
but again, you're coming into the best league in the world. You're not gonna perform as good as you were doing at
That is part of the
Lyon or
development.
Ligue 1, you know. Yeah,
That's part of the development.
but now players like players such as Timo Werner, they're on fire in leagues such as like Bundesliga, Ligue 1, Serie A, and then they want to come into the Premier League. They want to develop there as much as they can. It's gonna take them a while. Like trust me, Timo Werner isn't gonna come into Chelsea and bang in 20 goals a season. You know,
I
he's
feel
gonna
like
take
that's
a
what
while, especially
separates.
since.
But that's the
No, I
difference,
feel
right?
like that's
Between
that's what separates actual world class players and
Yeah.
potentially good players. Because like look at Salah, for example, came in first season, second season from where Roma, which was a mediocre club in the Italian league, and he wasn't even doing that great.
Yeah, I mean,
But he came in and he developed so quickly, and I feel like that's kind of part of the culture in Liverpool. Same with Aubameyang, for example. Came in from the Bundesliga.
The Liverpool squad has just by value, just by pure value, they've increased so much. The club is worth so much, even though they started at so much less. So the development is really like.
I think Liverpool, their best asset is their passion. Like I think the whole reason behind Liverpool's success is because of Klopp. He brings in this like passion and fire into their club. As in, if you're not gonna perform, you're not gonna play. If you're not gonna go out there and play your 100%, you're not gonna play. We have other players to replace you. And I think every single player,
It's not about just how
every single player. Yeah.
It's not just about how well you do. It's about that you actually show that you want to win for this club. You want to be part of this.
That's true.
And like, Henderson adds into that so well, which is I
was about to say with Liverpool, it's so confusing because you had players like Henderson, Wijnaldum, Milner, Robertson, Matip, Gomez, all of these Origi, all of these guys were dead wood. Like they were just people in the club to fill up the spots. And when Klopp came in, somehow they became these world-class players. Like I don't know
Gomez
how that happened.
The guy,
it just doesn't make sense.
Insane now.
Yeah. It just doesn't make sense.
Bad, but no.
Obviously, it's part of that is Van Dijk, because like when you're playing
Yeah, I
next
mean,
to
he
someone
plays
like
with
that,
the best.
you
best
immediately
center back.
develop.
Yeah, of course.
And people say he gets carried or whatever. I feel like he does, obviously, because it's part of playing with Van Dijk. But I feel like you develop more than you get carried.
For his age.
Because
Yeah.
Gomez now, if he goes off to another club, he is gonna have that gonna have that experience from one of the best defenders in the world. You know what I mean?
Plus, when he's put on the spot, he actually shows that he's a competent defender. He knows what he's doing.
Robertson was a big
unless
surprise.
Adrian is playing in goalkeeper, right? And then it doesn't work out that well.
Robertson was a big surprise because imagine you're playing in Hull City. You're playing in Hull City. You're not that young, and suddenly Liverpool want you, and you start playing. In the next 2 years, you're in the Champions League final, and you're in the team of the year.
Best left back in the world right now.
Yeah, you turn from I'd say best left back.
He was going down, Hull City were going down.
You look at what Ferland Mendy, Grimaldo, Jordi Alba, and then probably Robertson is like right now probably above them all. But I mean,
Marcelo kind of died off.
I think he's gotten older to the point where
he's gotten older.
I think someone who is very underrated at that position is who I don't know how clubs like Barca, Real, City have not bought him yet. Alex Telles, world class defender.
Yeah, Brazilian. Yeah.
He's insane.
I feel like he's not that young. That's why.
He's not that young, but that's why I'm surprised. He's like 26, 27, something.
He's like 28, I think.
But
I don't know.
He's been doing this like for many years, and I don't know how clubs haven't.
Yeah, 27.
I mean, maybe they don't see like potential in him as much as they do in younger.
You know something I kind of clocked with Liverpool especially is they do this really smart thing. It started with Wijnaldum. So basically, there was a year Newcastle went down. Okay. And that year, Wijnaldum used to play for Newcastle, and he was their star player. And immediately they bought him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Robertson. Immediately they bought him when Hull City was going down. Same thing with Shaqiri. When Stoke City were going down, they bought Shaqiri. And the thing with this is like clubs are forced to sell these world-class players because they want to leave. So they sell them for less. And plus, you're getting
money,
the
right?
best player.
Yeah,
you're getting the best player in a team that's already going down, so they have a higher chance of selling. You know what I mean? So I was surprised they didn't sign anyone last year from the teams going down, but I expected this year because like there are a lot of good players in the teams going down. Like who's going down so far? Norwich,
Watford.
Cantwell is not staying there, by the way. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, like at Norwich, like they're right back, like Max Aarons, 22-year-old, really promising. But if we go back at Arsenal, so we've had 2 defeats in a row. They got pretty much obliterated by City. Like it just wasn't, which we expected, right? First 20 minutes were competitive, and then it just felt like De Bruyne woke up, and then just that midfield was just completely unlocked. They had 2 injuries in like 20 minutes. So Arsenal now have Marie injured, Granit Xhaka, Bert Leno, and Martinez. That's 4 of their like arguably best players injured.
By the way, what do we think
of
Leno? What do we think of that Leno injury?
The Maupay thing. Do you think that was?
Do you think he should have been fined?
Who? Leno?
No, Maupay.
Maupay. I feel like no, because
I don't think so. Yeah.
It just happens in the moment, right? Where you jump.
I mean, honestly, it's clear that he wanted to push Leno out of the box, so he's holding the ball, so he gets a foul. But I still don't think that deserves a fine. I mean, a card definitely. He should have gotten a card, but not a fine.
I mean, it was given as a free kick. I don't think he got a card, but
no, he didn't get a card. No.
No, but like, I feel like in the moment, like especially if you've played football, you would know that like you don't want to hurt the opposition, but at the same time you do. You know what I mean? Like you don't want them to. I don't know how to explain it. It's just like this feeling you get in the moment, and like if a guy, for example, is falling, you can just like push him over and he'll fall even more. It's satisfying.
Plus, I mean, Brighton haven't beaten Arsenal in the Prem ever.
Brighton haven't won in 2020.
Actually,
Brighton, this was their first win of 2020. I mean, like,
so
you see that thing with strikers and goalkeepers, like attacking players and goalkeepers all the time, right? And the goalkeeper, their general response is just you put your knee out, right? So the attacker goes into your knee, and then no collision happens. I guess maybe Leno thought he would pull a. Did you guys see when Leno's being stretchered off, and his reactions when he somehow
I don't blame him.
Yeah, he was
I don't blame
pointing
him.
at him. Yeah, of course. Yeah, you can't blame him. Yeah, I mean,
okay,
you've just been injured
I don't mind.
you've lost the game because of him. So
what I hated was Guendouzi's response, being like a 22-year-old midfielder who like you're on like 40K a week. You're a role player who is a prospect. And you're like going up and like he literally choked him. Like I think it's
that I mean even if the
aggressive
ref didn't see it, I think he should have been fined still.
Guendouzi,
at least suspended or something. Like, come on, choking in the middle of the match. What is this?
I don't like what Neil Maupay did. That he didn't apologize. You know what I mean? Like regardless if you meant it or if you didn't, you still apologize. Even if the guy is like mad at you or whatever, but. You basically
apologized
just
after the game, like on Twitter or something, but still, like you should have done more.
I think
in the moment, like you just have to apologize.
I think money is playing a massive role in this because you're giving these young players so much money that players like Guendouzi go out on an interview saying things that he shouldn't be saying, such as like, "I earn more than he does." You're a professional football player who's taking the money for playing at a big club like Arsenal. I think take it and don't say anything. Players like Callum Hudson-Odoi take an enormous amount of money, like something like 200k pounds a week. He's going out, follow the guidelines of what the country is giving you. Don't go out and pay. And these young players need to understand something that you're getting paid this big amount of money. Yeah, okay, take it, but don't use it in a bad way. Don't have this attitude. Don't have this persona.
But I think it shows like where Arsenal is right now. Where like, can you imagine if a player did that under Wenger? Like, what would happen to a young player under Wenger?
That's true.
That's
true.
Under
any actual manager.
Under any leader manager.
Yeah, it just shows.
Yeah, that's true.
It should, like I think Arteta's really good, but I don't think he was ready to take a big job. And even if people say that he was, he's still so inexperienced to the point where like he doesn't know how to react with something like this. And like. Look, if you're a manager, like I think what he did with Ozil was already like stupidity to the point where in that City game he didn't bring Ozil like on the bench even, and before the game they asked him why not, and he said it was I'll say after the game, and then after they lost 3-0, his thing was it was a tactical response, and it's like come on, like we're smarter than that, and it just shows where Arsenal is right now that there's no.
I mean, Arteta was actually. I don't think he's been put in like a leadership role before. He was kind of always under
the assistant under Pep, always under Pep.
So I feel like experience-wise, he's experienced because like you're under the guy who won the Premier League like 3 times in the past. I don't know how long. So experience-wise, he knows how to manage a team. I feel, but certain things, and I feel like City players aren't irresponsible due to the culture. Like if you look at them, almost 50% of them are below the age of like 25. But I don't see anything like stupid of them. Maybe Kyle Walker did something. Him
and
a few.
We don't talk about that one.
We don't talk about that.
We don't talk about Kyle Walker.
Yeah, but other than that, I don't see any like young players like Phil Foden or Sané or Sterling or any of these guys.
That's the respect, right? That's what happens when you're playing under a great manager.
But that's kind of the culture. Exactly. You don't see a Liverpool player doing that.
Exactly, bro. No one at Liverpool would even think of doing that. Maybe like Elliot or something, but no actual player who gets the attention of.
Brewster isn't at Liverpool anymore, is he?
He's at Swansea, no?
He left, yeah.
He's at Swansea.
Liverpool don't deal well with the youngsters, I don't like that.
I agree, because we have like our youth academy.
Alexander-Arnold was very good, but I feel like Liverpool's academy has so much talent that just can't make it into the first team. There are too many players on, like Lallana. He needs to go, bro. Come on.
Lallana's gone. Lallana's gone at the end of this.
Yeah. Lallana, come on, man.
I think like a team like Leicester.
Shaqiri has to go as well. I feel bad for him.
Yeah, I mean with Minamino,
he's such a good player.
He's an amazing player, but he just doesn't get playtime at Liverpool. He can't.
And they bought him in his prime as well. He bought him in his prime, man.
I was shocked when that move went through for Shaqiri because Shaqiri had made all this stuff where he wanted to play first team football. But maybe like winning trophy, like we knew that Shaqiri wasn't going to go to like a top club, right? Like a Madrid or Barca isn't picking you up, or like
no chance.
They're not picking you up. So maybe the allure of like playing like 10, 15 games a season, and for that winning big trophies, which you're going to do at Liverpool, maybe that's enough.
Maybe.
But with all that said, do we think that this Arsenal team finishes top 10 in the league? They're 11th right now. Where do we think they finish?
I think they'll make.
I think they will.
I think
yeah.
they will.
They will.
I think they will.
They'll probably finish 8th or something.
Yeah. I think
Actually.
Arsenal are a big enough. I'm not gonna say club because they are a big club, but a good enough team to push through this final half of the season and finish top 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you think of Chelsea, bro?
Yeah, what
Doing some big signings.
I think Frank Lampard. He came in at the beginning. Obviously, it was rocky because you're given these players like Reece James instead of. And he's done really good, especially now. They're giving him the money. They've seen how good he was before with no money. They're like, here, take it. Let's see how good you do with it. And so far, he's done amazing. I mean, Ziyech and Werner and possibly Chilwell now.
Yeah.
Big signings for them.
I'm
really excited
to see
what they do.
Chelsea's also a hard team to come to manage because Chelsea was at some point like
elite.
A legend in the Premier League, right? Like they were unbeatable in the Premier League at some point. But then
Lampard was part of that team as well.
Yeah, he was exactly. Yeah, and then now it's just gone on such a decline so rapidly.
I mean,
it's because of the 2-year transfer ban they have.
It's clubs like United and Chelsea where you're at a top level in the past with Alex Ferguson and Chelsea when they had Drogba, Lampard and all them, where when these players start going, you don't really have players to replace them. You don't have good enough.
Because you focus on the big players and then you just completely don't think about the future.
At the end of Drogba's career, you're not thinking of getting players such as Harry Kane into your team to replace him instantly.
Yeah. No, we spoke about that, right? We all saw that when Hazard left at the beginning of the year and the transfer ban was still on, and we were like, just get as close to the top 4 as you can, try and qualify for Europe. Like, there's no expectations. And then players like Mount and Hudson-Odoi, Tammy Abraham came through and looked like good enough to start.
These guys literally broke the expectations. Like Chelsea, everyone said was gonna finish not above 6th.
Yeah.
But honestly, like Mason Mount, Abraham, Reece James, Tomori, and even they bought Pulisic right before. They bought Pulisic right before the thing. They bought Kepa. So I feel like they had a team, right? The thing that really annoyed me though is that Lampard signed 2 players, Werner and Ziyech, in the 2 positions that he has his best 2 youngsters in.
Yeah.
It
doesn't really make sense. Hurts them, no?
Imagine being
like imagine being like 22 years old, like Abraham, for example, and you just came into the Premier League, had an amazing championship season with Aston Villa, and then you come in and you're scoring like double figures in your first season.
Yeah.
And then you get replaced. You know what I mean? Like, and he was stopping 2 strikers on the bench as well, Giroud and Batshuayi. So he had the confidence in him, and then you just see that like he just signed like that.
I don't think when I first heard about Werner coming in, I was really skeptical as well. I thought it would really hurt Abraham's chances. But I think the thing with Werner that makes him so like we know that Pedro and Willian are not going to be there next season.
Yeah,
they've both said that.
Ziyech plays on the wings.
So yeah, I think they have so much versatility that it shouldn't hurt them as much as like what Mount can play on the wings and he can play as a cam and as a normal center mid. He can even play as like the box-to-box role, right? And you have a solid mid 3 already. You have Mount there in
Jorginho,
the back.
Kante.
I mean, Lampard. I think the staff is so experienced as well. Like I think there's so much scenes that the fans don't know. Like I'm sure they aren't like bringing Werner just to replace Abraham. There is something they want. They have a plan.
Yeah.
And maybe we never know. Maybe Werner would start half of the season next season on the bench to see where Abraham's at. We never know.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, but yeah, Lampard is doing really, really good. Like on the
should have signed
Chelsea. Yes, sir.
Should have signed the fullback. I think. I feel like Marcus Alonso's outdated. Zaha Costa, I think, left. Who else? Reece James is a good player, and Aspie's a really good player. But in the left back, Emerson.
I feel like you just play Emerson there, and then maybe like Atsipilicueta comes into that position.
Yeah, but Emerson, I feel like if you're gonna sign someone, you can sign like a
But
nice young
that's why they're going for Chilwell, right? That's why Chilwell is a big target for them.
Yeah, but like honestly, I love Chilwell. Like I think he's a really good player.
Yeah, yeah. So
Leicester has been a really good team as well.
We have this. We always have that discussion, right, with youngsters where like they're inexperienced and they have really high highs and really low lows. With this kind of
youngsters,
full roster, and go.
Youngsters can do really well at either consistent teams or small teams.
Mm-hmm.
A team that's inconsistent can hurt a youngster so much because they will play amazingly with an amazing team to back them up in one game, and then the other game they'll just be able to do nothing, and it really takes away from their experience like that because they don't. The manager will start trying to play around with the squad, and then they won't get enough playtime.
Yeah, the opportunities that are really good for youngsters are when they play like cup games, for example, against not against, like with a team full of youngsters, because then you can see the one that shines or the few that shine. But if you put Harvey Elliott next to like Mane and like Salah, for example, the chances of him scoring or assisting compared to them is going to be pretty low. You know? So
we saw Chelsea do that, right? We saw Chelsea versus Liverpool when Kepa made his big return. We saw Billy Gilmore come in, and he was like
Gilmore,
he has an instant, like everyone's saying that he's the next big midfield talent.
Because he played like with Kante and stuff, and imagine how shining them.
Teenagers and youngsters, the club depends. Like it depends where they are, but it also depends on the actual player. Someone like I don't have faith in someone like Callum Hudson-Odoi because I don't think he's as he has that mentality such as players like Haaland. You know, Haaland he did well in Austria. He's coming to Dortmund. We've seen what he's done. Someone like Callum Hudson-Odoi, you're giving him this money, and he's not taking it in a good way. He's sort of using it as in like, I've made it. That's it.
Someone like Haaland, responsibility.
I've made it, but let's see where I
go
can
to the next thing.
You're still so young. You're still so young.
Ambitious
Your career is not that long. Yeah.
So Chelsea went down against Aston Villa 1-0 before halftime, and then they brought it back with a big substitution for Christian Pulisic, who made his return. How do we think he's fit into Chelsea? It was big news when he came in. Frank Lampard didn't like him at the start and didn't play him, but how do we think he's done now?
I think at the start, Chelsea, it was rocky.
Chelsea has always had a slow attack with the likes of Diego Costa, the likes of Morata. I think he brings so much like energy and electricity into the front three. He's so like, you know, they have midfielders such as Mason Mount now, Kovacic, where you see them dragging in and driving in, and then we have Kante supporting them. So it's really helping Chelsea move the ball quicker, like having that exciting football into their team. So
yeah, that's true. Like the whole Morata, Diego Costa, Higuain, like their strikers have been pretty dead. Even Abraham is not
slow
that
strikers,
fast.
not the pace.
Yeah, even Abraham's not that fast. Giroud is just a truck. Batshuayi is decent, but they have that common like thing. I feel like Willian has always been there, and he's really fast.
Pace. Yeah, I think
So,
that's
William's actually a really
strikers.
player. He's always impressed me.
No, because look at Hazard and Willian on the wings. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, like
was very fast.
Let's talk about Willian. So he's been linked with United, Liverpool, Leicester. I think like 2 or 3 other clubs. Like even Barcelona actually had interest in him. Where do we think he's
not going to Barcelona or to Liverpool?
I love
He's not going to either of those. I don't think
Willian is such a talented player.
He is, but he won't fit into a squad like Liverpool.
He won't fit in
I don't think he's fitting anywhere now. I think he's going.
He's not that young as well. He's like 30.
Getting that Dani Alves mentality of like, let me go to this club to either get the experience, get the like, just a new environment for him. I don't think he's fitting in anywhere. You know.
Yeah.
And it's better for him to go into the Liverpool, the Tottenham, to the Barca instead of going to a championship team. Yeah,
I feel like we could definitely see him at United. I think if United said this isn't the transfer window to buy Sancho, which it might not be, seeing everyone's finances going down, and Sancho spends another season at Dortmund, I think you like because he's a free agent now, right? His contract's expired in the
He's
summer.
gonna be, yeah.
So pick him up on the cheap. Good deal. Give him a 2-year contract. Until you bring in Sancho next summer if you're United, and then you have that like good alternation. It really hurts Dan James, but I don't think Dan James is good enough to be.
I don't think.
I don't like
I
him.
think. I think United's issue isn't from the players. It's not from the managers. It's this Ed Woodward who isn't really focusing on I support the manager with getting these young players, but as soon as you sign one big one world class one, let's advertise them. Let's get the money from him. Let's get the money back. And I don't think that's the real goal United have to go for now.
Like Pogba,
it's becoming more of a business now than a club players want to come into and play for.
All right,
Pogba was
United. Yeah,
Pogba is an amazing player. In with France, he did amazing. He was insane. But then you see him at United, and he doesn't produce the same quality. He doesn't give you the same.
No. I don't see him do anything. But then when you look at the stats, he's one of like Europe's best providers when he actually plays. But
he doesn't actually play though. He doesn't play often enough.
Issue.
Yeah.
He doesn't. That's the issue.
I mean, what's on last game?
We had United versus Tottenham 1-1. I think United would have been disappointed to not get away with 3 points there in that game where they should have. What do we think of De Gea? What is De Gea's future at that club?
I think De Gea is people. I love him not because he's a United fan, because he is properly one of the best keepers in the world. He was at one point the best keeper in the world.
Yeah.
I think people do forget his
how good he was.
His maximum. He's conceded 2 goals in 7 games, last Premier League games. I think people do forget that because of one.
The errors,
stupid mistake.
But I mean, he's had a couple stupid mistakes though, no?
But I don't think he has that defense. De Gea has never had this proper line in front of him to protect him, like the Van Dijks, like that. He had at one point probably arguably one of the best centre-back partnerships of all time. Rio and Vidic, and then since then it's just gone down.
Smalling and Jones.
Yeah, Smalling and Phil Jones, world class pairing. I mean, you must feel. What do you do with Henderson then? Because you've had this fantastic young goalkeeper have an amazing season at Sheffield. Probably brought
I
them
don't
to challenge.
want to. I love him. I really want to see him come into United and develop, but I don't want to waste a talent like his because I don't think De Gea is leaving anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
And Romero. Yeah, I think so as well. And Romero is really happy being United's second keeper.
Number 2.
He wants to stay. So I don't know what the issue with that is. But I think United have bigger problems to deal with.
We saw those reports of the potential that United were interested in looking at Oblak, whose contract is up in I think 2 years.
That would be huge, though.
Would it be worth selling off? Because obviously you're not going to get the same money for De Gea that you're paying. He's on such high wages, you're not going to make a profit. But is it worth selling off De Gea, bringing in a keeper like Oblak or like Donnarumma even, and then just
Oblak is I think top 3 keepers in the world now, if not top. I think top 2. But I don't think they should get him in, simply because.
Thing is, if we look at the team that Oblak is playing for right now, he is one of the most tactical managers in the football world right now. He's a tactical manager. Everyone hates him, but he's a tactical manager. He knows what he's doing, and he can do things like he did against Liverpool with a team like Atletico right now, who they don't have like a star player. They don't have a number 1 player, but he still produces.
With Atletico is the players play with such passion on the ball. Have you seen that video where if you can put it in? Have you seen that video where Atleti was on the attack?
Yeah, and they all run back. 11 of them run back.
11 players run in one straight line backwards. I've never seen that before in my life.
No one has.
I think I never saw that.
It's what you see. I'll link it to this. It's what you see with Haaland, right? Well, where like everyone loves Haaland, where he's like, on the attack and he moves straight. It's the work rate, right? I think João Felix takes some like.
And a winger like Salah has shown that multiple times. You see him all the time, especially when he's playing in Egypt because he doesn't get the chances that he gets in a club like Liverpool. You see him running up and down the wing all game, waiting for that chance.
No, you have to. I think it's fantastic for like Atleti. No one expected them to beat Liverpool, except me.
I mean, even as a Liverpool fan,
it was a fantastic result, right? And I think Oblak has options, but I would love to see United go for Donnarumma. I think he could be like a really good fit. You're seeing a keeper who plays for a bad team, like a definitively not great team, and is regarded as one of the world's best. He's like what, 22? Like you have to eventually look at De Gea's. How old is De Gea? Like
he's 29.
So like what? You're looking at like 3 more years.
De Gea, United, that's their least. Like that's not an issue for them now. I think they have other like issues to face, like with players, with
getting out of the club. Yeah.
Start who to play, because there are players that want to play. Mason Greenwood, start him. Whenever you play him, he doesn't score, he doesn't assist. He may score, he may assist, but he brings so much energy into the team. He might not have experience like Daniel James, who's played in the championship for 1-2 years in Swansea, but bring him and start him. You're not gonna lose anything, you know.
So the other big like controversial thing was with Bergwijn's goal, right, and what he did to Maguire, and how Maguire just like fell on his face. What do we think of Maguire? Like big 70 million.
I don't like
this. Was meant to be Maguire was meant to be United's Van Dijk or Laporte. And I know Jad, you're a big United fan. So what do you think of his performance?
I think the time they signed him, it was big. I think he does bring in that leadership aspect of that we needed, because I don't think, especially being English, I know it's very like it doesn't really matter, but being English, being in that centre back partnership role, you need that leadership. You need to guide youngsters like Wan-Bissaka and Lindelof. You know, he might not be the best of defenders, you know, but he's key to the team, in my opinion. But
when you look at his stats, it doesn't fairly reflect what he can do. He can do a lot more. He can't do really enough, like to be one of the best defenders in the world. But I mean, what he brings to the team is essential to the team.
But I mean, like Leicester must be so happy right now, right? Like you sold him for 70 million, made so much profit, and you have you've got Soyuncu, who's come in as like a surprise, fantastic center back, and you're above United in the table right now. So like I think
honestly, Leicester
cultivates fantastic talent.
Leicester used that money. They bought Soyuncu. They bought this guy called Pryor in the middle. They got who else did they get?
Ricardo Pereira is one. It's like they have such good talent that they cultivate so well to the point where like look at what each season one key Leicester player leaves, and so like 2 seasons ago it was Kante, then last season it was Maguire. This season it's either going to be Maddison or Chilwell, probably Maddison.
Maddison.
And then
the talent comes out of Leicester though. Like look at Mahrez.
True. Yeah. No, I mean okay, so that's what Mahrez, Kante, Maddison.
Drinkwater,
Drinkwater, even like these are like solid players. Like
I'm surprised Schmeichel didn't leave. You know.
Yeah, same. I thought he'd be gone by now.
I thought he'd be gone by now. Yeah, like I thought they'd have just some random keeper.
So I mean, let's talk about Leicester. Like, obviously, have had
Leicester.
Less good form. Vardy hasn't been as great recently. He started off.
Vardy is on the form of his life.
Yeah, but I mean, he hasn't scored in 8 games, 9 games.
It's weird with Vardy because he goes on these insane runs where he scores 2 goals a game for like 5 games, and then he stops, and you never know with him because he's 30, 31 years old now.
I think that's part of.
You don't
also,
know what to do with him.
Yeah, I think that's also part of motivation or like leadership in the team. Mm-hmm. So if you had that player like if he was playing under Klopp or playing with Henderson, players like those, I can't really name another example, but players and managers like those, he would really like
leadership,
keep
good
that
leadership,
consistency up. Yeah.
I mean, he's 31, right? He must be he got into like
Yeah.
high-level professional football at what 27, and he's won the Premier League like top scorer twice now. Won the Premier League. Is going to be in the Champions League next season. And like I think you look back at Vardy's career, and he's one to be remembered fondly as a very very good English talent as a striker. So we're pretty sure. Do we think Leicester finishes in the top four? Do they get that Champions League place?
I think they will.
I hope, but I don't think they will.
You don't?
I want them to, but I don't think they will.
Well, so the gap is between. So they have 55 points, but they've played 31 games. Every other team has played 30 games. Chelsea has 51. So if Chelsea wins, it'll be a 1-point gap between third and fourth. And United's 5 points behind Chelsea. So there is like a possibility that if Leicester lose, they will. But I mean, they have such an easy schedule, right? To the point where, like, I really don't think they do this. And like,
I mean, well, easy schedule relative.
Leicester.
You're playing Everton. Everton can show up for themselves.
I mean, yeah, but like, I guess what gets you into the Champions League next season, right? We still have no idea what's happening with City. Is it top 5? Is it top 4? What happens?
You know, Leicester has one of the hardest schedules left.
You mean United, not City?
No, I mean, what's happening
with their band?
With Cass, what's happening with Cass? Are Cass like allowing them to? So let me check Leicester's schedule.
Leicester has Everton away, Arsenal away, Tottenham away, Man United home.
Wow, I take it back. Leicester has a difficult schedule.
Yeah, they have
Chelsea, Everton, Crystal Palace, Arsenal. Wow, okay.
They don't have the massive teams, but they have the teams that are
fighting with
them. They play well against. Yeah.
But I mean, that means that like their destiny is in their own hands, right? You win those games and you're through. You lose those games, there's no one else to blame because you're playing your exact competition.
You know who has a really easy schedule? Man City.
Oh, we have Liverpool. We have Liverpool and Chelsea.
Man City's next 2 games are Chelsea away and Liverpool home. Mm-hmm. And from then, it's Southampton, Newcastle, Brighton, Bournemouth, Watford, Norwich.
I'm scared about Norwich, though. You remember what happened last time?
No. We're Norwich at home.
Pookie!
No. He's dead now. He's dead.
United let's go on to...
United have the easiest schedule out of everyone.
Yeah, United's schedule, like, after Tottenham. Well, let's do City. So, what do we think? Scored 8 goals since they've been back, scored 2 penalties, which was, I think, bigger. How do we think City's looking right now?
They're doing well for themselves.
They're looking the best.
You don't expect any less from them. You don't expect less from them. You can't expect less from them.
I feel like from the teams that came back so far, they're looking the strongest. 2 clean sheets, 8 goals in 2 games.
Liverpool is obviously the one that can actually beat them, and Manchester is the one that can beat. Well, yeah, to a certain extent, Manchester City is the one that can beat Liverpool confidently.
Yeah.
So they're the two that can actually clash, and it's a game where you don't know what's gonna happen.
We're gonna make this a 16-point title race. It's gonna be close.
Okay, buddy. Okay.
No, honestly, you're currently throwing it away. Like drawing.
I mean, we haven't really thrown it away. See, Liverpool, when we get off form for a while. Like, it's bad. But when we get back, we're not just decent. When we get back, we're really, really good.
Liverpool form in the past 7 games is 3 draws, 3 losses, and 1 win in the past 7 games.
Ever since the Wolves loss, it's just been downhill. But
Liverpool don't have an easy schedule as well.
You don't. But once Liverpool get back on their game,
Liverpool is gonna win the league. Unless like we're seeing the locker room prediction over here, prediction of the century, they're gonna win the league. But I think we've seen that. As a City fan, I was worried that we'd come back into the league just not caring. But I think it's great to see that. Like, I think it just points like, do we think that City's gonna win Are City favorites to win the Champions League this season?
I think chance. It's either City or Bayern.
Honestly, with the defense we have, there's.
Oh, come on. Laporte's back. Laporte's been so good.
Other than that,
there's a big difference between the Premier League and the Champions League. And it's not only that because we've seen Liverpool win the Champions League last year, but you have teams like experienced teams like Barca, Madrid, who have that experience of playing in the league and then hopping onto Champions League and playing both like insane football on both. I don't think the English teams are getting back into that, but I don't think they're at the top level yet in Champions League in Europe.
Yeah, English teams, there's a reason they don't win Champions Leagues a lot, and that's because there is that stress of Premier League. You know what I mean? Like,
I think
it's a whole
competitiveness of the
different. It's
Premier
a whole
League is-
different game. It's a whole different game.
Okay. Honestly, I think this is City's best chance to win the Champions League. You're
Same,
seeing-
honestly.
Not,
by the way.
You're
not,
seeing-
but
No, you're okay. Look,
You're seeing
Bayern is
Aguero.
still there.
no,
Man. Don't forget
but
Bayern.
I think Bayern right now is the strongest team in the world. But what you're forgetting is Bayern's season finishes in 1 week, and then you're off till
What?
August. Yeah, Bundesliga finishes at the end of this week.
Okay.
So Bayern is waiting a month and a half until Champions League, and like we've seen what
That's
happens.
not gonna make a difference with a team
No,
like
come on.
Bayern,
Of
man.
course it does.
This
Of
is
course it
Bayern,
does.
man. This is
No,
different.
but you're
This is
going into
different.
straight single elimination games. You think Bayern keeps up with a team like City? City's last game is
Yeah.
July 24th or 25th. So that's like 2 weeks before August 7th.
You can check what day if you want. City's
Can you
last
check?
game
Yeah, check City's.
is on the 26th of July.
26. Okay. Like the difference in practice, come on. I think Bayern is a fantastic team, but I think scheduling has really hurt them. And when you look at like a team like Madrid, City should beat Madrid pretty convincing. Like I'd be really surprised if we lose to Madrid in that round of 16. And then Barca looks like a train wreck right now. Like their big signing of Griezmann is like I'd rather play Ansu Fati in that position than Griezmann right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think really it should be there. Juve's on fire basically. Like Ronaldo literally looks like he's 50 when he's playing. Well, you saw him against Napoli and Milan, where like Juve just looks terrible. I think it has to be City's best chance to win.
Yeah, honestly, I feel
mean,
like teams aren't at their best this season. You know
It's
what I mean?
either it's either gonna be City or Bayern. There's no one else in it really.
I feel like Bayern, every game they've played, or like not every game, but a lot of games they've played in the Bundesliga, they kind of tend to concede. Right?
If
If you're gonna concede, like if you're gonna concede 2 against like Eintracht Frankfurt, or like 2 against Bayern Leverkusen, or Eintracht Frankfurt again, Borussia Mönchengladbach, Freiburg, all these teams, like you're gonna concede. A lot against
I
City.
think that like the lack of game really hurts them. They're like a month and a half break.
But the difference between playing against a team like that, like Eintracht Frankfurt or Freiburg or whatever, the difference between that and Man City is Bayern is not going to
Underestimate City. Yeah.
exactly like Bayern know what they're going up against.
I mean, how
They will
poetic
be
would
ready.
that be, though? Like, what Pep was brought into Bayern to win the Champions League for Bayern, and he lost 3 times in the semis, goes to City, and then beats Bayern in the final. Like, that's a storyline.
How poetic, how ironic would it be if he goes
If
and
he
then
loses,
to
if he loses,
Bayern?
no,
Jesus,
it's,
yeah. Oh, bro. No,
I'd
I'd rather City lose now than in the final, to be honest.
Yeah, in the final that would be tragic.
Because I don't want bragging rights of like, oh, we reached the final. I want to either win it or just
we're not
not think
fans.
about it.
We're not
Yeah,
Tottenham
yeah,
fans.
yeah.
It's like,
No,
we
speaking
did
of
it.
Tottenham,
exactly
I
like
just
Tottenham, yeah.
You know, speaking of Tottenham, I just got like a notification saying Ndombele had an argument with Mourinho. He just said that I never want to play under you again.
And then he just got removed from the whole 23-man lineup.
Which is so stupid.
I think Ndombele. Look, Spurs has garbage financing. It's no secret. They put all of their money into that stadium, and the stadium hasn't been good. In it's without tickets and stuff. They're not getting revenue in. They've spent more, and I think in summer we're going to see a big exodus of Spurs players. I think Ndombele is probably gone. We've seen so many. I don't think Harry Kane stays another season. Honestly, with how Tottenham is right now, I think Kane goes to United. Kane goes to Barca. He has so many options, right, as a world-class striker. I think we're seeing the decline of Tottenham.
With the
I have this opinion.
It's happened with so many players where it's the money thing again, where you're given so much money, you think you can play wherever you want. We've seen it with Dembele, the French Dembele Ousmane, and we've seen it with Coutinho, where they want, and Griezmann as well, where they wanted to leave so bad, where to the point where they wouldn't show up to training. And they wouldn't answer their calls, as in look at me, I'm not coming, so just let me go already.
You mean before they got the transfer?
Before they got the transfer, yeah. As in when they were in Dortmund, I'm not going to training until you let me go.
Mm-hmm.
So just let me go already.
I feel like it's a recurring theme with Mourinho of arguments with players. Like
players, yeah.
I don't see a big argument with players and managers like in Liverpool and Man City and Real Madrid. Like in these big clubs that actually win trophies, like you don't see that. You know, Mourinho with United, for example, the whole Pogba
thing. Yeah.
Now with Ndombele, in Madrid, he had a big argument with Ronaldo. I think it was.
I think it's because he's very strict and very straightforward. That players then go like, yeah, I don't really want to play under him. When
that's bad leadership.
Yeah. But then they go like, I'm looking at clubs like Klopp, who are like, who's like best friends with their left back, with their CDMs, inviting them to their houses for like drinks and stuff. Players don't want to play for managers like Conte, like Mourinho. The managers that are gonna tell them to do something they don't want to do.
But we forget like how, I mean, Mourinho's had a bad reputation ever since like what happened with United happened. This is one of the greatest managers of all time, really. 3 Champions
you have
League
to whenever
clubs.
you. I mean, everybody makes fun of Mourinho now, but like you have to remember what he did with Chelsea.
He's outdated though.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
I can look at him now and be like, when was the last time he won a trophy? And I wouldn't even remember.
Like, that's what we're saying with football. Like that's what we're saying with football. Football has been changing. The style of like the personas of all these players it's just they want a lot. They need a lot.
The goalkeeper thing, right? I think that's a big thing going back with.
I think that shouldn't be happening. That should not be happening. If it was any other manager looking at their own keeper, telling them that they don't want to leave, you're not playing.
With Kepa and Sadi.
You're not. You're not playing for the rest of the season.
Like
it's just out of respect. It's out of respect for you, respect for the manager, and for the player that's coming on, and your fans.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
You got to feel for Ndombele though, as someone who like. He was brought in, you know, so promising as a player, and
most expensive player in the club's history.
In Tottenham history, and then they brought him in, and I think when Kane and Son were injured, and I think Ali wasn't playing, they said Mourinho in a press conference even said that like, you know, it's his chance now, and if he doesn't step up, then like we can't give him any more options. It's like this guy's like 19 years old, like.
No. He's like 22.
He's like 24.
Oh really? Oh sorry, I thought it was young.
Yeah, he's not that young.
But like he's still young for like a Mourinho team, right? Yeah. Where like you have your dedicated forwards, and I don't think Mourinho is getting the best. I think we're gonna see Tottenham fall. I think Harry Kane's gone in the summer, and I think it's a Tottenham rebuild.
I mean, one thing that Tottenham has, their goalkeeper is amazing. Jad and Adham has really showed himself to be a good goalkeeper. Even in big games, he's played really well. Yeah,
I guess Liverpool, that game he had.
Yeah, Gazzaniga's promising. But I mean, Lois is so old to the point where like you need to give him a good replacement and stuff. And I think Spurs are definitely looking.
You know, let's do something. You continue. I'll say it after.
Maybe like the another team that we should touch on is Wolves, who've had like an absolutely fantastic season.
That's another team that's been not carried, but been helped a lot by their manager.
Yeah. Great manager.
You know, he's a great, amazing manager, bringing so much experience, so many experienced players into the team as well, which is what works.
I mean, we saw them start with the in their game versus, I forget who they played.
Wolves. They played.
I think they played. No, it wasn't Burnley. They played West Ham.
What are you talking about?
They played West Ham.
Yeah.
And you saw that kind of the 4-4-2, right, with Jota and Raul Jimenez in that forward, yeah. And then they brought Traore on for the past 30 minutes, and I thought, wow, this guy, like Traore, is one of the best super subs that I've seen in recent time in terms of like how he changed that game. Like really, I think he's so promising as a player for being so young.
You know, I mean, but like the thing about the manager though, it's not all about manager experience, because then you what's it called? You look at Everton. They have one of the most. I mean, this is a great manager. This guy's had history. He's won titles upon titles, but he couldn't really perform with a team like Everton because it's not
Well,
easy.
I mean,
It's not just about
he's had
experience.
like 6 months. Let's be a bit nice here. Everton have
Okay,
definitely
yeah,
improved
but
over
I mean,
Ancelotti.
they have true, but it's still not like a jump. It builds over a long time.
Okay, fair. So if we've seen those heavy links, right, with Juve, they want Higuain gone. I think it's pretty clear now. Higuain is not quality enough to be at Juve. And there's been heavy links with Raul Jimenez to Juve. And do we think that he could succeed at a big club like that? He's what, 28
I
now?
think Raul Jimenez is a very underrated player, but I don't think I don't know if he's gonna perform around big players around them, because he's playing. Don't get me wrong, Jota, Ruben Neves, João Moutinho, they're really good players, but when you're playing
they're not
with the
like
likes of Cuadrado, Dybala, Cristiano, you're not really gonna get the best out of them.
So say he goes there, do you think that he could be the next Benzema, really? Be that link between you play him there, like in that number 9 position, and then you have Dybala and Ronaldo on those sides. Do you think that he could be the next Benzema?
They do have the same play style, but like again, he's not really gonna shine like Benzema did, because Benzema's been playing that role for many years at a top level with Real Madrid. He's not amazing. I don't think Raul Jimenez, coming from Wolves, who hasn't really performed against, like, we haven't really seen him perform in stages such as like Champions League, even the Europa League. I don't think he's gonna slot into Juve's side that easily.
That is, yeah. Like, let's take a minute. Like, can you imagine being Dybala right now? You're getting to play with Ronaldo on a club level, and then you get to play with Messi on that internet. Like, that must be insane, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's good for him. It's good for him. It's only luck, but it's experience. Getting like the 2 top best players in the world, probably in history, and obviously 2 different play styles, and getting their input on football and their input on himself, and getting that experience from both of them.
I think it's shocking that
I don't think it's that good of a thing.
See him get picked up.
I'm gonna lie to you. I don't think it's that good.
Really?
Yeah, because I'll tell you why. Because I've never seen a player play with both of them and actually become like a big star. You know what I mean?
I think Dybala's already a star, no?
Dybala is a star, but I can tell you, as soon as Ronaldo went, Dybala's not.
I think he's already like. I'm shocked that United didn't go for him, for the amount of like. There was all those links.
Di Maria, for example. When Di Maria was with Ronaldo at Madrid and Messi with Argentina.
But I mean, Di Maria is like one of PSG's most important players now, no?
He is an important player, yeah, but I'm talking when he used to play with both of them.
Yeah. 20.
I mean, it's really hard to it's hard to get away from the top 2's shadow. It's everywhere you go.
Exactly.
They're always gonna be records to beat, especially now with the youngsters. Youngsters are training extra hard now to start with beating those records, because you aren't really gonna beat records when you're someone like Raul Jimenez, for example. You aren't gonna go for that top level.
Raul Jimenez though, like, he came in to the Premier League last year. He scored 13 goals, and this year he's on 14 goals already. So I'm pretty sure that's like up there with like Aubameyang and Rashford and these players, and he plays in Wolves.
Yeah.
So just think about what would happen if he plays for a team like Liverpool, for example.
A better team, yeah.
I feel like he would fit in Liverpool.
Yeah, maybe.
I feel like he would fit there.
He is that kind of like supportive style, right?
Yeah, no, because like when he plays against City, for example, because I don't really watch Wolves games, but I watched them against City, and I wish I hadn't, but I did. And he would just
both times
literally hold on to the ball, push someone off, and just pass it through. Like, he's like really good.
The big physical build. Yeah, he's
not small. He's not slow.
He's like what 6'2", no? 6'1", I think 6'2".
No, not 6'2". I don't think. Probably 6'1", maybe.
I think the last piece of news I think that we should cover that broke recently was the Juventus-Barca deal, which has been going on for about 2 months. They've been trying to find it, because obviously we know that Barca wants Neymar. It's no secret. Barca wants either they want Neymar or they want a different attacking option because they're not happy with their midfield. The likes of Vidal, Rakitic. That's not a midfield. Busquets is good, like too old for them at this point. So, which is shocking that they're selling Artur, right? Like the really promising young guy. It doesn't make sense.
I mean, but it's hard to find someone to buy Rakitic or Busquets.
Fair. So that's what we saw with Inter, right? When
it's not hard.
They made that
link
with
Inter. At all. No, Busquets is 30 or 31. Rakitic is like 32 or 33.
So they're old and they've fallen off from what they've used to be. They have experience, but they're not going to be able to perform like they used to.
A team like Inter would take Rakitic.
Yeah, no, so that's what Barca was trying to do, right? Like they want Lautaro. They cannot afford Lautaro's release clause. So they said, we'll give you a swap deal. And Inter said, no, we want cash. And Barca, it's no secret, Barca doesn't have money right now. But Barca is
Artur came out and said, I don't want to leave. As much cash as you want to give them for me, I'm not leaving Barca.
Mm-hmm.
But they're trying to get this deal with Pjanic and Artur. But I to be honest, I don't think it's going to go through.
Would Pjanic fit? Pjanic is 32. He's had a fantastic career so far. He was really instrumental.
It's so confusing.
He's a player like Vidal. He has so much experience, but he's gonna come in. He's gonna thing is with Barca midfielders, no one's gonna shine.
Mm-hmm.
De Jong isn't shining. He's fitting into their system. Not as good as he should, but he's fitting into their system. Barca midfielders, they don't have the Dybalas, the Bruno Fernandes, the De Bruyne. They're just this specific play style where you get them in, they're gonna play for you. That's it.
Yeah, get the
ball
forward. Play for
you, and that's it. No one is gonna shine.
No, I think we saw that right when Barca drew after the game. It was Piqué came out and they drew, and Real Madrid are now equal with them in the title. And Piqué came out and said that we're not good enough. Our players are not playing well enough. And I think we need to see some changes at Barca. We're looking like I think this might be I think next season might be Suarez's last. I mean, we're forgetting Coutinho is coming back. What does Barca do with Coutinho? That's a huge amount of wages. Like Coutinho was ever since Neymar left. It's finding that hole, right, for Neymar. Like, how do you cover up Neymar leaving? And they tried with Dembele. They tried with Griezmann. They tried with Coutinho. Coutinho was meant to be the Brazilian answer, right? All three of these players haven't really worked. Of course, so like Dembele, it's because of injuries. Griezmann, it's just weird. It's like he should fit in, he just doesn't fit in. And Coutinho just kind of fell off, right? And like I think for me,
Neymar is a one-off player. I don't think they'll ever find a replacement for Neymar.
You're seeing
change their team around completely to be able to fill the hole of Neymar.
You see,
no player is going to fill that.
You see clubs that lose their best player. With Leicester, right? Leicester lost their best defender, brought in Soyuncu. Soyuncu fills that hole. He doesn't have to be as good as
But they had to change other things. Plus the gap that Neymar left is so much bigger than that.
But listen, Griezmann is the same.
Maguire and Neymar, man, come on.
Griezmann is like a similar level player to Neymar. Perceived. A World Cup winner, Champions League finalist two times. They're the similar quality players. Griezmann, Coutinho was like, we forget how brilliant Coutinho was at Liverpool. Even like a player like Dembele. Why can Liverpool not fill that hole, which is Neymar? And why are they trying so hard to get Neymar back? Yeah, sorry.
Barca. You know what's the thing that really, really annoyed me about Barca? Is the fact that their funds and like their transfers have gone so unnoticed in the eyes of everyone. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, the amount of money
they've gotten Ousmane Dembele and Coutinho for an unbelievable amount.
Yeah, so 100.
Coutinho was 145 and Dembele was 120.
265, wasn't it, the total? 265, 270?
Yeah, and then, which was fine because Neymar left at that time. So, okay. And then there was Griezmann for 120. And then there was, who else? De Jong. No, De Jong came for free, right?
De Jong was 50-something, wasn't he?
I don't know. De Jong, there was Arthur. Paulinho came for 30 million for one season and left for free.
You're forgetting like Malcolm. Malcolm came for
Malcolm. I was gonna say Malcolm.
It's
so
like
so the amount of players that Barca have gotten and just thrown out, like Andre Gomez,
And after,
Paco Alcacer,
especially
Dennis
after,
Suarez, Titi. Who else, bro? This guy called Musa Wagu, Emerson,
no, for, like
Junior Firpo.
honestly,
after
looking
having
at
been a team like Barcelona,
What is that?
that unbeatable
Everyone,
side, what they're trying to do is search for how to get back to that. They're not
yeah,
searching for how to move forward. They want to go back to it.
but that's
yeah,
the
but as
problem,
soon
It's
right?
as
not
Like
how it works.
we've
the
seen
issue
how
they're doing
bad.
is like, yeah, they're trying so hard to like find this one season wonder of a player. Like when you have players like Paco Alcacer and like these guys, they're not gonna fit in from one season. You know, you have to development, but
Yeah, I
they
mean, like we
want.
saw that with the signing of
Yeah,
Braithwaite, no?
Lucas Digne, bro. Oh my God, there's so many players, so many, and people
It's,
talk about City so much about that. Like they spend so much, whatever. Look at Barca, bro.
I mean, like
What
what's
is
the
that?
return, right? Like how many players do see, like if Sane leaves and stuff, that's money coming in.
Well,
Where is
what's Barca
Barca's
done?
money? Where is Barca's money coming in? You can't find a
City's money
club that
came
is
back, 100%.
Coutinho.
100% they
You're
came back.
not finding a club that Coutinho is going to go at for the same price. You're not even close, right?
But no, but look, but at the time when you sell a player like Neymar for that price, instantly in your head there's that space you need to fill. So then they're like, let's go out and buy Coutinho. That doesn't work. Let's loan him out, buy someone else. You know, a club
They're
like
going
Barca
all in
can't.
for things
A
that are
club
not going
like
to pay off.
Barca can't. A club like Barca can't wait to sign a player
Yeah.
like Usman Dembele and wait on him. You know, we'll give him time. We'll give him time. We'll give him time. No, you have players at the end of their careers like Suarez, Messi, who need to play now and who needs to win. You know.
Yeah, Neymar. But as soon as Neymar came in, there was what's his name playing instead of him still, David Villa. Okay,
Yeah.
and yeah, and when Neymar came in, he was basically like Coutinho. He was like this like prospect, you know. No, not Coutinho. He was like Dembele, right?
Yeah.
They paid a lot for him at the time. It was a lot, and he was a prospect. He didn't perform in the first like season or two. You know what I mean? He was doing okay.
Different, like I
But
think.
then after that, he became really, really good. I feel like Barca just isn't waiting. Like,
With Dembele,
Dembele,
the
he
issue
has a
is
chance.
the issue.
You
I
can't
think
blame them,
Dembele
though,
is
can you?
when Dembele plays, he's solid. He's a
He's
good player.
amazing. He's amazing.
Yeah. The only thing is, like, it's like
Ansu Fati's
they
good.
bought him from like the fragile section of IKEA, so like he plays for about
Yeah,
2 months and
brother.
then he's injured. So like,
Not even.
it's just
You know
really.
what's
I
so
think,
ironic? You know what's so ironic? After all of that, they spent like I'm pretty sure over around 400 million on their attack, and all these players in the 400 million don't play, and the one player who plays is a 17-year-old Ansu Fati from their academy.
oh, like I
Like,
think
it's
how
so
good
ironic,
is that?
bro.
How good does that feel for Ansu
He's so
Fati?
good. He's so
Ansu
good.
Fati
Yeah,
must be
truly.
like
That just shows. It
he
shows you don't need to
brings
spend that much.
he brings something to that left wing side that Braithwaite doesn't, that Griezmann doesn't, that no one
I
else
forgot
does.
about Braithwaite. What is that? What is that signing?
I don't know.
Bro, they're acting like players are toys, man. Let me just buy
It's like,
this
oh,
thing,
Suarez
try
is
it for
injured,
like
get him out.
a few days, and then throw him out. Khalas. He's like the 5-year-old kid, man. It's unbelievable. No one talks about it. That's what annoys me. Is that
Yeah,
like, you know,
it's
if I
not
wasn't a
covered.
City fan, I wouldn't be that annoyed. But it's because every time I say I'm a City fan, people are like, oh, they spend so much, Sheikh Mansour, all this money, whatever. But look at Barca, bro. Look at we got our money back. I'm 100% sure we got our money back. We won the Premier League 3 times since. Around like 3 FA Cups or Carabao Cups, whatever you want to call them, and the Community Shields and all of that, bro. We made our
The
money
thing
back.
is about Manchester City.
Not worried about
The
money.
thing is, people like seeing low teams climb without using a lot of money. That's just a success story. That's how
obviously.
that's how people are. Obviously,
that's true.
So
that's true.
You're never gonna see Manchester City be a fan favorite.
That's true.
Yeah, because
I
they
agree.
spend,
You have
right?
to give
But,
them
I mean,
credit, though.
Because they spent a lot of money. They
you
used
look
money
at-
to get to where teams got in 100 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, but what can you do after all? Like, hating it isn't gonna change it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyways,
But
I think
City's doing well.
I think it's been a fantastic podcast. I think we're gonna put a bookend to it here. Thank you so much, Adham and Jad. Both
Wait.
fantastic.
We still have a last segment. We have to pick our 2 center backs.
Oh, I totally forgot. We have our last segment. Scratch that. Before we get on to that, let's do our last
Basically,
segment.
every episode we decide on who's the best. So basically, we're making the locker room dream team. So
Team of the year, yeah.
we have
our two center
goalkeeper.
backs,
We have goalkeeper. We have Allison. Right back we have Trent.
Is it currently?
Yeah.
Currently we have
team of the
yeah.
So
now we have the two
let's
center
do our
backs. We don't want to
center
just pick one of them because we know what one of them is. So we also want to make it interesting with the second one.
I think Virgil is.
I think Van Dijk is there.
Yeah.
So who's playing with Van Dijk in that partnership?
I'm saying Sergio Ramos.
I was gonna say Sergio Ramos.
Yeah, I mean the guy's amazing, isn't he? He's
currently,
he's amazing still.
Is it currently or is it in our generation?
No,
currently Sergio Ramos for sure. Like the guy,
or better, like he has. If we were talking 2-3 years ago, then Sergio Ramos definitely goes in. But I think there are better players performing like than Ramos now.
Ooh.
So who do you?
The thing is, you have to look at it from not like a young player improving or you have to look at actual how much he can put out.
Like obviously when I thought of this, my first thing is like, you know, Koulibaly, Skriniar at Inter. But I mean both of those guys haven't, like, Inter's been really good this season, way better than expectations. But they haven't achieved much, right? And they're not gonna achieve much. And Napoli, like what, under if we're doing the whole season, Napoli for the first 6 months of the season, besides beating Liverpool, were pretty bad. So you can't put Koulibaly up there. The other name that I go to is probably Varane. I think Varane had a terrible season last season, and this season was fantastic.
I think Varane is world class. Like as of now, I'd pick Varane over Ramos. Like if I would make a team, I would pick Varane.
So you're going. So is Varane your final pick?
I don't see anyone better than him at the moment, to be honest.
I'm gonna say contribution wise, I don't think Ramos has contributed to Madrid that much since like the 2016 season. They won the Champions League. Like
that's the
thing, guy is one of the top scorers in the team, and he's a center back. Yes, because he take penalties, whatever. But the contributions he's done at his age, like 33 or something, and he's still playing at like the top like level.
Yeah.
Come on, like.
I mean, he might be.
Think of like who would you want in your team?
I kind of watch Madrid games.
I mean, you know, Ramos has the ability.
I don't like Varane. I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like I don't like Varane because I feel like he's so overrated. Like, yes, he won the World Cup. Yes, he had a really nice World Cup, right? But I actually watch Madrid, so I know he's just this fast, no tactical player. Like I don't see him.
I really like if you ask me, I'm building a team, I would take Varane straight up because he's so young.
But that's what.
But that's the future, right?
Since we're doing
it's just for this season
a center back partnership, we have that Van Dijk who's a leader, who is tactical, who knows how to control the ball, pass it. You know, you need that other center back to be that sweeper, that fast. You know.
That's true.
Has Varane actually played a lot this season?
Yeah, Varane almost starts every game.
Yeah, he does.
Ramos and Varane.
This is a hard one, guys. It's a really hard one.
It is a hard one. Let's flip a coin. Because two of us say Varane, two of us say Ramos.
Two of us say, okay, so me and Jad are saying Varane, Sully
and me and, yeah.
Okay, who has a coin?
I don't actually see, like, Madrid's records in the past.
I have a coin.
Okay, Jad. Heads Varane, tails Ramos.
I'm looking at the past games, and Ramos's rating was a lot higher than Varane every game. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, let's do it. Let's flip it. Yep.
Okay. This is heads.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Tails.
Okay. Tails Ramos, heads Varane. Here we go.
Right. Let's see it.
What's it gonna be?
It's heads.
So that's Ramos.
Varane, is it?
That's Varane.
Heads is Varane.
Then it's Varane.
Varane gets it. So our
well
center
deserved.
back,
well deserved.
Varane and Van Dijk is a madness, by the way.
Our center back pairing for this week's episode of the Locker Room.
Who voted Allison? Can I understand?
Yeah, I don't know. I said all black men. These three.
I would say Ter Stegen.
I'd say Ter Stegen.
Wow.
I don't think
who voted Allison?
It
What
was
Liverpool?
Mr. Rory.
Who was it? Me,
Rory,
Norris, and Rory.
Yeah, Rory, Norris, and Silly. And they all said Allison. I said Oblak.
He's just so consistent. He's so consistently good as well.
Plays with Van Dijk, homie.
Yeah, he plays with Van Dijk, but he performs. When he's on 1v1, he performs.
I said
I don't think he does
Oblak,
anything other than goal kicks, bro.
No, man.
No, they play from the back. They don't play
No.
from the back as well as City do. They play from the back for a while. Anyways, we're about to hit an hour and 50 minutes, so I think we're gonna put a bookend to this one. Thank you so much, Adham and Jad, for being a part of this. We'd love to have you back whenever you guys want to.
Sure.
Yeah, thanks so much, guys. Hope you had a good time.
Yeah. So if someone made it this far, I respect you. We're very going. No, I'm joking. Me and Jad.
All right, cheers, guys. Have a good one. Thanks,
guys.
guys.
Bye.